This week on Hermitcraft.
Here, look at this, look at this. Look at him. Here he comes. Look at him. Oh, there he is. He's so cute.
This is your friendly reminder that within the canon of Hermitcraft Season 5, the NHO were in fact eaten.
Yeah, we eat people.
Okay.
Do you ever wonder where the NHO went? I mean, come on.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is LoyXP, and it's been getting awfully X-Files around here. This week saw nearly everyone getting on the Area 77 bandwagon. We had cryptids, sightings, mistrust, future technology, and of course, someone trying to profit off of it. Perhaps they just want to believe it's another minigame, seeing as how the district for that is just a few blocks over.
Which I'm not sure what it is. I don't want to get too close here. I don't want to jump into this tree, because we saw what happened to the drone when it flew over, or tried to fly over. Oh, and there he is.
Whether the truth is out there is yet to be revealed, and with that out of the way, welcome to the Twilight Zone.
I got aliens.
You have aliens too?
Starting with Rendog, who is actually none the wiser to the weird occurrences, or we'd probably see him putting another weird skin on. He just wants to go fast.
Rendiggity Dog's got a plan for a minigame that is gonna blow your minds and get the adrenaline of my fellow hermits pumping like nobody's business, baby.
Back from vacation and with a need for speed, he road tests a boat race course with a focus on speed and boat control. The track will have stretches of blue ice that allow hermits to go at warp speed if they can stay in the fast lane. Oh, and it's going to take up an entire biome.
Most of the boat races from the past have been on a very small scale and usually involve things like slime blocks and launch pads and things like that. This race course is going to be about speed.
But since he's not keeping an eye out for strange happenings, he completely misses Stress Monster sneaking up on him after drinking an invisibility potion and yeeting the hot potato into his inventory.
I don't think he knows. Can you do hear the concentration there? I need to get away. I don't think he knows.
I'm getting disrespected by a pig, and suddenly I have discovered a potato and a book in my inventory.
At least he plans to handle a lot of ice next episode, so he'll have plenty of opportunity to show it some love. While he's in the minigame department, he also has a go at digging straight down, and reminds us of that one time he flung several stacks of diamonds into something equally frivolous. When Stress isn't stealthily hucking mouldy potatoes at people, she's got a handful of projects to work on at the Ice Castle. Which Ice Castle is now a question we can ask, since she sets up a mini-me version on the icy podium at Iskel's Mushroom Island, leaving him a stack of redstone blocks inside as a housewarming gift. But the reason she's there is to cast an eye over the blueprints of his super smelter and apply it to her main castle, setting it up below the main structure with the input and output chests concealed in the fireplace.
I haven't got to try and throw it into a hopper or something because I always foul. Goes directly into a chest.
On the outside of the ice fort, a stable gets added to the castle exterior, and Stress gets to play dress up with the colourful variety of leather horse armour. Although quite how and why the horses got there, considering it's in the middle of a frozen ocean and the only road leads to a giant crashed train, is something of a mystery. Although Stress has blamed aliens for the activity at the fort before, so we can add that to the list of stuff they seem to be doing on the server this week. Seriously, we're wondering why Docm is only bothering with the aliens now when they crashed into Stress's Amethyst mountainside a few months ago. Anyway, the horses in the ocean still make more sense than Cubfan's speedboat in a lake that's 10 blocks wide at best. Captain Jack's raft is also pretty silly, but he's a parrot, you wouldn't expect much from him. The Concorp tour of villages from around the world continues as Cub introduces people made in taiga and raised in icebergs to the bunch. New residents have it much easier than the rest, as by the time they get here, a whole housing unit was built in place of the tent camp Testificates had to live in before. It's still super cramped, but at least the elements won't be as much of a problem.
Decided to all come down to work. Look at them just filing out of the apartment. Very nice. Beautiful. Yep, there they go. Some guys on the far side as well.
To help the new guys settle into the work schedule, Cub installs a beacon-powered signal system. The sky-high beam will indicate when it's time to take a break and meet up at the bell, and when the shift is over, so yabba-dabba-do home. The meeting place, by the way, uses around 6 beacons, 5 of which are decorative. It's what you can expect when you get yourself a sweet deal with Iskel, who nowadays is fairly desperate for money.
I have 19 diamonds. This is my diamond stock.
This kind of gives credence to the theory that the Sahara system can distinguish between a Concorp representative and a regular customer. The whole reason Cub contacts Iskel personally is because Sahara broke trying to process his order.
They said it couldn't be done, but I have done it.
My man. In a single day, pretty much, man. I'm impressed.
Though Concorp is having trouble within itself, the first seeds of mistrust making their way into the company when a drone breaks down over Area 77. Having spotted GoodTimesWithScar through the shrubbery, for the first time in the season, Cub starts questioning his allegiances and promptly dispatches an absolute ton of more drones to spy on the containment unit.
I'm not sure what he's doing here. We can see a retaining wall and what looks to be... It looks to be like some type of communications tower or something.
Skaar doesn't help either. In a collab with Docm77, he reveals that this whole time he's been keeping a secret from both Cub and the audience. The creature they showed in the finale of Season 5 was found by him and kept in the jungle next to the crash site, to the point where Skaar was feeding it what remains of the NHO members for a whole year. Our guess would be Skaar meant to feed Doc to it too, but the thing wasn't hungry at the time.
What is this? I'm out. Are you serious?
Doc, he's my pet. Come on, he's not scary. Jeez.
Retreating to the relative safety of the green-headed aliens in Area 77, Doc gets some security advice from Skaar, who goes ahead and builds a full-blown military containment bunker for the knockoff TARDIS that landed there last week. Suspecting Grian's villager is an alien mimic, they put him in containment, and perhaps to throw any other alien hunters off the scent, Doc goes back to business as usual, if your usual business is cutting-edge redstone in the form of a nano crop farm harvested constantly by a captive ravager.
Lots of stuff happened. Crazy adventures. Now we have a bunker back there with a security tower.
He's still paranoid about Impulse's towering minigame being some sort of observation post, so he tests it to make sure it's a legitimate entertainment attraction, then builds his own watchtower close to the border of Area 77, complete with an end crystal supposedly to relay information back to the aliens.
Or something. Yeah, but this is also cool. Oh my...
Disaster strikes when he accidentally taps the end crystal on his way back down, blowing the roof off the tower, but that's just a minor inconvenience for someone who just confiscated a time machine, and with one quick trip to the bunker and back, the tower has mysteriously regrown its exploded face.
Awesome. Yep, so we can control time and reality, and guys, this is not video editing.
There's actually no camera trickery here, it's all done in survival in real time with no help from the other hermits, a fact which Doc demonstrated and explained live on stream and even cut down into a bonus video this week, so check that out before you put your own tinfoil hats on.
That's definitely time machine shaped, maybe somebody... No one could have used it because I took the power source out.
Let's travel back. So it is not really time travel. We are able to go to another dimension and manipulate reality here.
Now, as much as their efforts of securing, containing and protecting the paranormal make us want to swap a sizable hunk of the script with the word redacted, we can't avoid mentioning the things pulled to the area and measures Skaar applied to keep it, secured, contained and protected. The bomb-looking thing from over the shopping district is now at the zone, but more importantly, a bunker-style warehouse was constructed to store all that stuff in, with heavy steel doors and a big unloading area. His own dealings with Iskall inspired Skaar to start a minigame very much in the spirit of making it rain. The drop game invites you to board a plane and jump right out of it as an assortment of diamonds and diamond blocks are falling with you. The goal is to catch as many as you can before hitting the ground, preferably not hard enough to die.
So people will be able to capture diamonds. All right, that makes me super, super happy.
I am going to offer you 3 stacks of shulker boxes. You will never ever need shulker boxes again.
Ooh.
For the amazing sum of 500 diamonds.
His other game, Hide and Tag, is finally given a go too, together with Grian, Rendog and Iskall. The several runs they did feature betrayal, violence, drama and triumph, much more than you expect out of 4 grown men running around trying not to be seen by one another.
Okay, I'm inside Tango Tech's skin.
Are you actually?
Yes.
There's a sheriff down, boys. And it's Skaar. And he's coming after you now.
I'm hidden behind the Tango statue.
Grian, I will forever try to get you back. Oh my goodness.
Another reason for them to run around screaming comes with Azumavoid adding a new minigame, and it's another one from their childhood, The Floor is Lava. In a more literal sense, however, The Floor is Lava is a game of clicking a button then sprinting as fast as you can over a road that's disappearing right under your feet. The game has several rooms with progressively faster pacing and offers a glass ceiling for everyone to point and laugh through.
Now I gotta... Oh, jeez! Jeez Louise! That was amazing!
Hey, remember how we would just jump on couches? Yeah, those were the times. One can understand this interest for inventing their own games. After all, by this point, the Hermits have severely broken the one they've been recording this whole time.
Anyway, I need to go and get all of my items back, which shouldn't be a problem because they don't actually despawn. Oh. Yeah, duh.
Azuma decorates the Nether Tunnel to the raid farm with the emerald blocks he now has a potentially infinite amount of. Right opposite the path, he puts a store that sells the very thing you can get for free if you just go through the tunnel and figure out how to use the raid farm. In the meantime, X takes over a mushroom island and drowns it for a future fungi cow farm.
So, no mushrooms are currently able to spawn in this place, which is great because when we build a farm, that's where they're going to spawn.
Ironically, X's minigame could potentially be broken in the same way he broke Impulse's, so Impulse might want to stock up on ender pearls of his own. But despite the breaking of these unwritten rules, Impulse still rebrands iBounce, decorating it with a downward-facing trident and renaming it Let It Rip, although he's the only one to have spent a Nether Star and put a trident-assisted score on the board. Happy to be the best at his own game, he returns to the iBase and brings a few of his old farms up to 114.4 standards, setting an hour-long redstone clock to splash heal his dogs while he's AFK at the skeleton farm, setting up shulker box loaders for his automatic crops, fixing the slime farm, and replacing the old gossip-based iron farm design with 3 villagers and a zombie. The iron golems, on the other hand, already know who the real threat is.
I'm not happy with the fact that all the golems are going to be upset with me. Not sure what's going on there. I think, yeah, I did kill the rest of the villagers in here, and maybe these guys know about it. I'm assuming that's what happened.
Joe Hills lets it rip, although his scores are a mixed bag.
So, our scores so far were tied with everyone else for the best, literal death, and the number 3. It's like Sesame Street, but with more literal death.
Another inspiring death seems to be all he needed to continue building his own minigame, which promises to chuck people into lava if they can't make enough animal noises in time. Seriously, that seems to be the mechanic. You try to turn as many pages of this book as you can, completing the instructions on each page, and the game either rewards you for making a fool of yourself for that long, or it throws you into lava.
Woof, 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 woof. Bah, bah. Oi guys, Docm77 here.
We're looking forward to this one being finished, mostly so we can laugh at Welsknight making duck noises. We actually have Welsknight making quite the racket already this week when he terraforms a hill around his manor to fit the floating basement. No, it's not the construction noises we're worried about, it's the time-lapse music he chose to go with it. It's just comically unexpected.
When the dew is still heavy, so bright and early.
Okay, this or Skaar's 80s tune with wolves howling in the background. That will be the poll in the iCards this week. So the mansion now fits the surroundings. Can't wait for it to go up against the haunted house Grian will be building.
Once before. And that is a haunted mansion I made like 3 years ago. Yeah, like a really, really long time ago. But for some reason, the design just works really well with what I want to make.
But before he can carry out these paranormal activities, Grian has other responsibilities. One of those is punishing Mumbo for ignoring his.
I reckon what we do is we take his mustache and we just put that in the meeting.
I was gonna say we're on.
The whole reason the Architect Trio wanted to meet up is the expansion of the Sahara brand. Grian has already added a golden carrot store over in Hermitville named Sahara Eats. Quite the false advertisement, as so far I haven't seen the store devouring anyone. In Mumbo's absence, they still manage to bring his mustache along to make executive decisions. This gives Iskall enough room to convince Grian that they need to build another Sahara, but smaller. The plan is to make a members-only Sahara Now shop next door, which charges for a subscription but provides a smoother shopping experience by, let's say, not putting the warehouse several chunks away from the customer.
Also, it's just faster delivery.
So, they pay us to buy more stuff.
Exactly, they pay us to buy more stuff.
The third point on the clipboard is to get Mumbo an alarm clock or something.
There we go. What do you think, Mumbo?
Yeah, what's your opinion about this? It's great. So,
yeah, he likes it.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
The pay-to-pay more economy is still not as shady as the practice ZombieCleo finds at Azuma's XP vault. She's early enough to get in on the cheap, but still overpays a bit to account for breaking the system a little.
I see. Okay, so X did say the first three vault passes are free.
The reason Cleo needed to funnel XP into her pickaxe is a sizable cavity she dug out during her time not recording Hermitcraft. Not quite sure what to do with it, Cleo starts building up an underground grotto, starting with a subterranean river and a bridge over it.
And now the pufferfish is going to be called Captain Sneezies. In my defence, I was left unsupervised.
It's only a matter of time before it gets its own surveillance cameras, at least if it's been running the same way as TFC's vault. The new security offices have a variety of feeds, some of which are more entertaining than others, and the others just have pictures of kebabs on, but they're made all the more legitimate by the holding cells behind them, which are only different from the cells in the rest of the vault because their occupants just can't get up and leave whenever they like, but at least the floor isn't covered in magma blocks. For now.
It's a little busy, a little crowded. I might have to move that wall back a block or two. But yeah, it's the general idea, and I think it works.
If only Iskall had thought to install more security at the Sahara Campus. It seems like people can just come along and leave deliveries whenever they like. Perhaps the contract should have been more specific about how often they wanted the Wither Roses.
So in total, Sahara has got a bill of, well, a lot of diamonds. Did I mess up our partnership? Did I write something stupid that allows him to do this?
But Iskall has other things on his mind. First, he's got 200 diamonds on the line in a villager trading setup contest with Mumbo, which they both admit is going to come down to the fine details, mostly because they keep meeting up and visiting each other's bases to steal their ideas.
This is the nautical sorter, or as I like to call it, the Nauta.
Nauta.
Or the naughty sorter.
Is it the Nembum design, the Nembum pirate sorter?
Iskall decides to save some of those finer details for once Mumbo is gone, like an automatic potion brewer for curative weakness potions. For now, Mumbo's system relies on letting the villagers get bored in an attempt to get them dropping their prices just because it's something to do.
What you do is you put them all in a room together that has nothing in it. They get so bored that they drop all their prices just for some level of excitement.
When this doesn't work out and some of them get bored to death, he captures a few zombies in a sort of groaning roundabout.
Alright, perfect.
And eventually puts a squid head on one of them so it can convert the villagers before Mumbo cures them for discounts. Pretty soon he's getting anything he likes for 1 emerald. Now if only the villagers would sit still.
This is madness! I mean, I would say it probably is, isn't it? Okay, so if we hit this button right here, he then drops out and I actually have no clue where he goes. I haven't really... Where is he gone?
Acquiring all the shiny green material does not stop Iskall from wanting the shiny blue material as well, and he has 2 schemes for that. The first being to sell a ludicrous amount of beacons and shulker boxes to the convex, then take a bath in all his newfound riches.
Having a lot of diamonds is a learning process. So you go in here and you have your daily shower of diamonds. That is a pretty cool sight.
The second is, surprising nobody at this point, a push your luck minigame. Taking the form of a tunnel with increasingly tricky but random traps, players have to pay to enter and then pay again if the door randomly doesn't open, then navigate the obstacles and decide if they want to bail halfway. Each section they brave will earn them a key, and the keys open loot boxes. Hopefully, these keys are more reliable than the one for the front door.
Yeah, 36 redstone dust, that's not gonna cut it.
And finally, there's false Symmetry, who is not buying this alien stuff in the slightest. Funny, seeing how she really wants everyone else to buy it from her. It seems her decorating the rail line through the Pirate District taught her a thing or two about sideshow attractions. On your way to Area 77, you will find her building a town, all the economy of which rests on the idea of peddling phony merchandise to tourists.
Now, I've heard about suspicious alien kind of creatures. I've heard about spaceships and weird flying things nearby. But have I seen any? No, not at all. But that doesn't matter. We're gonna try and make some money out of this place, okay?
She starts small, trying to warm up to the architectural style of suburbia, but don't worry, soon enough she'll be pushing Docm figurines onto unsuspecting visitors. And that's just about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is PixelRiffs. If you want to know which hermits know their Hermitcraft history, don't forget to check out our latest bonus episode in which Zloy grills the whitelist about itself. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.